terror face, happy face.
It's all prep.
Ah,
Ooh,
was that
ooh.
that was? You said that was from Dogma, right?
I think so.
I think so. I think you're
You
right
know,
because
you know
that's
what it was?
where
It was when they're making fun of Goodwill Hunting in
that's Jay and
Jay and
Silent
Silent
Bob.
Bob. That's what it's
That's
from.
what it was. When
When
they're
they're doing Goodwill Hunting Part
two,
Two, hunting season, and
hunting
they're
season.
joking. And Miramax, when they're making fun of how bad
Yeah.
Miramax is.
And
Yeah,
how do you like them apples? And he goes,
apples,
applesauce. He says,
applesauce. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why do we remember the most
that
obscure
movie,
references from movies. It's like,
that movie's easily what 20 years old,
yeah,
15 years
it's not
old.
even. It. I mean, it was just it was a stoner knockoff at best,
It
and
was
it
a
was
funny
just.
movie though. I mean,
But
I
there was
enjoy.
some
But
like
then again,
great
we were
parts in it that
kids.
were just like hilarious, and we use that. That's our warm up.
Well,
One of our warm ups. It is what it is. So,
it was Affleck and Damon. I mean, you
they've
know,
been best friends for
nowadays the
whatever.
biggest
So,
biggest biggest stars, and
yeah,
they're doing a stoner movie, man. It's
they
all good.
are
So
doing a story. But yeah,
either way.
for those that are joining us right now, another episode of the Nissan Nerd Podcast. Welcome, episode number 612. What are we on right now?
57. I think we're on 57.
57? Ah,
57. Thank you guys for being here. Of course, my name is Mike DeLashmutt. With the guy talking here with me is Miles Hall. This is the Nissan Nerd Podcast. That, is that number two? Is that number one? I don't even know what you got there.
for these bad boys? Oh,
Yeah.
cough syrup. I'm first cough syrup of the night.
First
So,
cough syrup of the night.
yeah,
Gotcha,
so
gotcha.
we're just getting into that. But yes, welcome to another episode of the Nissan Nerd Podcast, episode number 57. We've got a lot to do tonight. We've got well, I'll let Mike kind of tell you everything that we've got going on in this episode of the Nissan Nerd Podcast.
Let's do it. All right, guys. On this episode, we learned that the GTR is back for 2023, back from the dead. We're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to highlight a few Nissans that are being showcased at this year's SEMA convention, actually happening as we speak in Las Vegas. Let's talk about it then. And then also, we're going to chat with a friend of ours of the podcast and a aspiring automotive photographer, Mackenzie Moxley. So stick around. We're going to have a great show for you guys. Let's get into it.
It's goofing around. Anyway,
Yeah. I was thinking about this intro. I
hmm,
I need to work on the sound. It just that first note just hits you right in the face.
the
Like it's
punch. Yeah,
it,
the
just
Panda is
that
punch in
jolt.
the face. Yeah, for those we're rocking at full 11, right out of the gate every time we do one of these episodes, and it can be a little brutal, but yeah, maybe we'll
Well,
we'll put that at the end of our apologies, takes backs, and we'll go
mm,
from there. So,
it's
and
like a
shout
sorry,
out,
not sorry, or a sorry,
sorry, not
or we're
sorry,
actually
sorry,
sorry.
we're gonna try to fix it, but we're never gonna fix it, but we'll figure it out and go from there. So,
Right?
yeah.
Woo.
Well,
Th-
we got a lot to cover tonight. Let's jump right into catching up because we haven't seen each other for about 2 weeks. I miss you.
it's been
I haven't seen you in a hot minute, bud.
you
So,
know, yeah, we there's always a weekend something going on. I see you haven't due to your screen behind you, you've been using my face for various
no,
face
no.
app.
This is a one-off.
It's
One
a
off. I will never, and honestly, I'm getting bored of your face. I'll probably never use your face for anything ever again.
He's like, you know what? I don't like your face, and I'm going to rearrange it. Is that
Let me
what
see
you're?
here. Yeah, I did this. By the
God, man, it's
You look
Halloween. So
good.
that's right. We just got
It's
through
Halloween.
Halloween.
I said I was like I want to do a Halloween episode, but it didn't work out. It wasn't in the cards to where it fell in our thing. So I felt like I had to throw a little Halloween action at you, and here we are. That's my Halloween contribution. So
All
there we
right,
go.
all right. We did have some pretty good ones online as well.
Mhm.
You had the one where it was both of us were we like having tied mustaches or something like that.
Oh
That was a
yes.
pretty good one. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, yeah. I'm pretty good sometimes. So,
You are
so
pretty crafty
sometimes
with
I hit my
those
mark.
apps. Yeah, 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 yeah.
But honestly, other than that, as far as Halloween, like I know you're probably gonna ask like what I did, and it's like, of course, gave out candy. I
Yeah.
took my little girl Pia, trick or treating, but she gives out. She's only 5. Her little legs only go so far. She doesn't have. She's she's all about quality, not quantity right now, because she's ain't got the distance.
She go
So
trick or treat,
trick or treat.
good sir. Like it's about the quality of the
It's like
yeah.
this she gets it.
Eh.
Anyway, but my point that I'm trying to make is like, what did I do on Halloween? You would think I watch scary movies, and in a sense, I kind of did watch a scary movie. I
Yeah.
watched the new Gozen on Netflix. I finally got a chance
Ooh.
to check it out, and in a sense, for some
Did.
people, I guess it can be kind of scary.
I I watched it too, but you go ahead. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk
and I
about it.
just kind of checked it out, and here I am, just kind of watching it all night long, and I don't know, I just didn't. I don't know. It was weird. Like I didn't know how to feel after it all. Like it just
Mm,
all the information that's out there between the other documentary and then of course this new documentary and all
yeah.
the information and all his like still talking openly about the situation, and Nissan's a little tight-lipped about it obviously and naturally, and
Mm,
with all the lawyers and the legalities that makes sense, but
yeah.
I don't know, man. It was
I
just I don't know. It doesn't paint a positive picture for his situation. I don't know. I don't know how to feel
I
after that. And of course, we are a Nissan publication. No, we are not a Nissan publication, and we just solely support the brand here.
yeah.
Um, and so it's just it's kind of interesting, you know.
Well, you know, for those who don't know what we're talking about, Netflix has just dropped a new documentary called "Fugitive: The Curious Case of Carlos Ghosn." On Netflix, talks about this whole dealing with Nissan Renault, Carlos himself, and more notably the escape, the dramatic escape that occurred about 2 years ago.
Yep.
Now, I watched the previous one that we talked about that was on Vudu as a. It wasn't as well produced. This Netflix documentary was
Oh,
produced
Netflix got
very.
the
I
dollars,
liked it.
baby. They got the
They
dollars,
did.
baby. They make that happen.
They did, man. And I gotta say, as far as there were a lot of similarities and a lot of things that were different, and I know for sure the public persona that Goen had people perceived him as that was communicated about the same. The one thing that I think this documentary really gave out that was really good is that they made a stronger point about the Japanese judicial system, where we all know. Well, sorry, a lot of us know that they have a very high conviction rate, 99% conviction rate. So essentially, once you're prosecuted or being indicted or getting the fingerprints, you're a goner at that point, right? But what they didn't say, or what they said in this one that I hadn't heard before was that yes, they have a 99% conviction rate, but they only 37% of the trial of the cases go to trial. So
Yeah.
how is that? A third you get a nearly 100% conviction rate, but only a third actually go to trial. It's
Well,
they
because I
say
mean,
yeah,
and we're not going to drag this out for too long, but
true.
the push to confess, and then of
Yes.
course, it's the intensity of the penalty is
Hmm.
uh, is usually applied for so long. By the time you're
Yeah.
about to get to trial, you already have time served, and you're just
Right.
kind of
Eh,
you're out.
that is true too. They said a lot of
So
times that I mean, again, we are by no means lawyers, much less international lawyers, but they were
no,
saying
not at
at least the
all.
comments that we heard from this documentary
I'm a
was that
bad lawyer. If you
the
ever get me as a lawyer,
don't
do
go to us
not
for
get me as a
lawyerings.
lawyer. No, you're going to jail if you get me as a, that's it. That's it. I'm gonna leave my notes. I'm gonna forget who. It's a comedy of errors. So we'll leave it at
Yeah.
that.
It's like
but
My cousin Vinny, but
oh
worse. I don't know.
no,
Yeah, my
I
cousin
don't.
Miles. There
Yeah,
you go.
no. But yeah, that's what I did on Halloween. I watched the Gone
I
documentary. For those that haven't get a
yeah.
chance, regardless, whether
Regardless,
how it goes, how it feels on the brand, I do recommend checking it out. That way you can
yes.
at least get educated about I really feel that it's fairly equal, for both sides of it. You can draw your conclusions after that and go from there. So, and
I agree.
Mike, what did you do besides that?
Well,
Uh,
Halloween wasn't too eventful for me. Honestly, I was supposed to be working on a car that day, but that's like the worst day to work on a car in the driveway.
Halloween? Oh yeah, all the
Yes, yeah,
kids.
you're trying to turn a wrench and things, and then all of a sudden, trick or treat. I'm like, I got hands full of grease. Like what do that's it's
Give
not a
them
good look.
greasy
So,
candy. What's
yeah,
wrong with that? Rub a
yeah,
little
I had a
axle grease on him.
little axle grease.
Here you
Here you
go,
go, kid.
Billy. Figure that out. All right. This, but I mean, package it, but then don't make it
Yeah,
unedible for the kid. But like
yeah.
take that
Oh,
candy bag and then just wrap it in grease. And if he really wants it, kudos to
yeah.
you, Billy. Make him,
Here,
but
here, here's
yeah.
here's a quart of oil. Here's some carb cleaner, Billy. It's just like you just give
Put
him
your
what's
time in, Billy. Put your
it's your
time in,
time in,
Billy.
right? Give him a wrench or yeah. We I ended up helping a buddy. He has a G35 and he had
Oh,
this sound. We couldn't figure out where it was coming from, so I told him, "Hey, bring it to the house. We'll put it on jack stands. Let's just do an inspection." And we found so many things that needed
it's a
attention.
G35.
So
Yeah, what
well,
do you
that and it's
expect?
got 200,000 miles on it too, and a lot of it's just
And they
stock.
just, well, everybody runs
Yeah,
those cars so hard most of the time. Nobody,
yeah.
I've yet to meet a whole lot of people that just kind of baby it. Just
Oh yeah,
they usually just beat them to hell. But
yeah.
they're
Anyway,
getting around that age to where you can't really beat them to hell anymore. So
yep.
moving
Long
on.
s- long
But
story short, CV
okay,
joint, two wheel bearings, and a tire, and but we're done. We
you
solved the
lost
issue. We are good and ready to go.
you lost me at wheel bearing. Like,
Yeah,
ugh,
yeah, they're not the
just
best.
yeah. So moving on. Well, let's do a little acknowledgement of the crowd, so we can move on with some of our business.
Let's go for it.
Let's give a shout out to Freddie, who called you out for not showing up to his Halloween event.
I,
Pretty brutal.
I,
It's okay.
that's,
Don't worry about
I
it.
beat myself up, man. Yeah.
Mr. Curtis Davey, what's up? What's up? And then we'll give continued shout outs as we move through the night. Whoever wants to comment, feel free to comment um, as we move through the episode. Give us any feedback if you have any insights or anything we might have missed, or just want to kind of call us out. We love it. Bring it. We love heckling. Let's
Yes.
go. So, but before we
uh,
do move on, we do have a few things that we need to kind of cover tonight. I do want to give obviously, we're going to start off with our compi. Just give and I'll go ahead and do it.
mhm.
Let's do a little salute to those in the Nissan family who we wish good health, and to those we may have lost, may we be reminded of them often.
All right, guys. If you have it, join us. Ganpai. Yeah.
Hmm. But I did want to give a shout out to somebody who kind of listens from time to time, one of our brothers over in Japan,
Ooh,
and actually one of the I don't know, godfathers of the Z in a sense, Mr. TETSU. And I think
Taka.
Mike, you might have a photo.
I'm bringing it up. Yeah, go for it. Here we go. There he is. That's our buddy Tetsu. This guy right here. He's actually wearing a Texas Z Club shirt, actually, too.
Oh, really?
Small world.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. This guy. Him and
There he is.
Curly. Our buddy
Very
Curly.
cool.
Yeah.
And Tetsu's been a longtime supporter of the Datsun and Nissan. Very good friend of Mr. K, who's now passed. And honestly, the owner of Ultimate Z Garage in Japan, in Utsunomiya, Japan, and
Mhm.
he's actually ran one of the oldest traditional Japanese Z car clubs there, but very influential OG, if you will. He's been around for a really long time. He actually owns Mr. K's silver
That's the
350Z.
Silver 350Z,
Yeah,
number
I was there when I
13.
number 13. I had it. I got a ride in it when we were in Japan.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't have a photo of it right now, so I can't
I
prove it. It's all
I saw
lies.
it as well. Yeah.
But I love Tetsu. Very good guy. Very knowledgeable,
Yes.
and we want to wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
So kudos to him.
Tetsu. Yeah, yeah.
So let's dive right into the news. We'd like to share the latest articles from the interwebs regarding Nissan, Datsun, and Infinity News, both from the official newsrooms and, of course, from our media outlets at large. Again, just a reminder for anybody out there: if you ever have any Nissan news, Datsun Infinity, no matter how big, no matter how small, let us know. Send us an email so we're in the loop, and we'll definitely give you a shout out as a source. But this week is really big week with SEMA going on, and
Yes.
Nissan over the last few years has always kind of had a few Datsuns and Nissans uh, at it. You know, Nissan's had booths there previously,
Hmm.
but in the last few years, you can just see everything kind of slowly ramping up
Oh yeah.
so high.
Well,
You know, I think it was weird. The 370Zs fall off, and then the Datsuns
well,
just kind of took over in the last few years. And now with the new Z, it's gotten crazy. And Nissan pulled out no stops. And I know you got the article. I'll let you go on with it, Mike.
that is true. That is true. And by the way, you mentioned that too. They have a lot of good models worth really showing, new models that they can definitely show the aftermarket potential at the SEMA convention. Last year, for example, was the new Frontier that they did in that livery with from Rebel Rally covered in dust. We talked about that before. This year was the new Z. We've got various multiple examples of the new Z at SEMA this year. So yeah, that's what we want to do. We're going to showcase a few Nissans which attended uh, at SEMA this year, both under the Nissan umbrella. These cars and a few other, you might say, submittals from other garages. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to share my screen on this. There we go. Okay, so we all know SEMA is the premier automotive specialty products trade event in the world. It's been around since 1967. I think that brings us to what I think I just doing a count just earlier. It's like 70, 60, 55 years. They've been doing this. Honestly, if you haven't heard of SEMA by now, as an automotive enthusiast, you're living underneath a rock. You've got to check it out. It happens every year in Las Vegas. This is a trade show though. It's 5 days. It's not open to the public, except for Fridays. Fridays are typically reserved to the public with tickets, limited number. So, by and large, this is a trade show. So, for those who aren't in the industry, the best way that we can absorb it and watch it is to look through online social media outlets, pictures, articles, and whatnot. So that's what we are. SEMA's happened November 1st to the 4th. Nissan's booth was called the Thrill Street exhibit. Nissan had 7 vehicles on display, and let's go ahead and get into it. I've actually got a slideshow on this one. Let's run with this one. First one was 2 vehicles that were on display through Chris Forsberg and Forsberg Racing. The first one you see here is his 1300 horsepower GTR powered Formula Drift Z. We've seen this one in competition this year, by the way. I believe I think it's still ongoing, the series. I could be wrong on that though. Uh, the other vehicle from Forsberg Racing was this V8 concept off-road Nismo Frontier. I kind of like this, man. I mean, a lot of people have always said stuff the V8 inside a mid-sized pickup. I mean, what's the worst that can go wrong? Especially as an off-road model, right? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean they've taken the six. I mean for the Navara, I mean they've taken the six, turbocharged it. We never got it because apparently we'll shoot our eyes out. So like having a BB gun for Christmas, it's just we're we're not responsible enough to have it apparently. So we never got that. But a lot of crazy Frontier guys and Xterra guys have been VK swapping the Frontier for a pretty long period of time. It's actually a pretty easy or a reasonably easy um, uh, on the scale of 4 wrenches. It's probably like a scale of 2 wrenches from what I hear,
Ooh,
but to do the actual swap. But it's very popular. Needless to say, and
interesting.
I mean, you get all the power that you want, but for them to go ahead and just say get
Yeah.
it done
Yeah.
in a sense with V8. I mean, it to me it's a home run. You know.
Hopefully, this actually, I mean, of course, this is a concept, but if Nissan actually can come out with a,
You know they
V8
could put
version,
out a bad
production
boy.
version.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I can't see a V. Well, you know what?
Hmm.
I'm gonna eat my words there. So now that the Titan is officially gone, unfortunately, the Titan is now out of production to the best of our knowledge. But from everything from press is feeding us, it's gone. So why not take the platform that's already exists or
Yeah.
potentially a small? platform that just needs modification, and
Yeah.
then insert it into a specialty model like something like this. I know if there was a Frontier out there with a VK or a V8,
Yeah.
I'd probably
Well,
consider.
it's it's a c- it,
I'd probably pick it up myself. It's a
it's
bad
it's
boy.
a it's a classic formula. Obviously, big engine, small chassis. It's nothing new, but it is
Yeah.
people love it. You can't. It's one of those fail-proof recipes in most cases.
And they
So
hit it out
yeah.
of the park. I mean, everything that's on this car is just kind of stellar. I mean, all the Nismo products that are on this thing are just are killing, and
Hmm.
they're formed to fit. You know, that's one thing when I started looking at this Frontier and really kind of glossing it over, everything just fits well. Like, you know what I mean? It's not just like a brush guard that was just thrown on the front. You know what I mean? Like, it just the racks that are just kind of like put on the top, and they just have no ergonomics. I mean, everything looks good, you know.
It
And
does.
I don't know. I've been kind of eyeballing and drooling over the truck over the last like 2 days. So it's been kind of nice. So
Nice, nice. Next thing we want to share is actually another Frontier. This comes from submitted from Christina Rocco. She is a online social media influencer. This is her submittal. A what they call it here, the Frontier Street Truck Project. Of course, you've got a king cab. It's not the quad cab. Do they still use king cab as a term? I know that was a more of an '80s or hard
a
body
crew.
term. Crew cab,
Well,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
King.
yeah. Yeah, we you know what? We're old school. We can use it. We've got gray hair. We can say king cab. We'll leave it at that.
It's the
But I
king
would,
cab. Yeah.
but the street truck, it was definitely it was our time when we were youth that would get in trouble, and there were some powerful street trucks that came out, during that time period.
Yeah.
And honestly, and nobody's going to know this unless you go back and search, but they did a Nismo Titan. That's it. And it was kind of
Yeah.
like a street truck. It was a concept vehicle, never saw the light of day, but I always wanted one. Like, it was just like, damn. I was like, and that's what I always thought Nissan could utilize. Either give us a really small EV truck, like hard Nissan hard body with dimensions and EV it, or give us muscle. I'm kind of at that point where I can take either one. So,
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I think whatever it is, just take it to the
but I
extreme.
do like the
Just really.
concept. I mean, it
Yeah.
just it's been growing on me, you
Gotcha.
know.
Gotcha.
But
All right. Well, I got two more. The next two cars that were in the Nissan exhibit booth here at SEMA, these were submitted by Tommy Pike Customs. They are based out of the South Carolina area. This first one is the EV Nissan Aria. It is a what they call a beach style surf wagon, 2023 Nissan Aria. This one I've seen a lot of articles through various outlets. It's mixed reviews. I think it's the nice way of saying it. A lot of people aren't too sure if they really buy into this concept, but it is unique. You got white walls. Was the first time? Is this the first time you've seen an EV with white walls? Maybe. You know, it's got that Woody's look, side panel, wood panel siding. It's not real, obviously. It seems to be. You know
you
how
sure
in the
it's not?
past
Is that not
is.
real wood? That's not real
Well,
wood. Are you sure it's not real wood?
you're pulling my chain, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm pulling your
Yes.
surfboard.
Well,
Yes.
and this is what we talked about last time before about get rid of the vinyl. Please stop using vinyl
Yes, stop
in some
using vinyl.
cases. Yeah, I do like the color though. I mean the
Might as well
that
be
teal
brick. I
pops.
mean,
You know.
uh, I like the car. I just don't
Yeah.
like the concept. I hate to say it, Nissan. I know there's somebody out there who's like thought they hit it out of the park. At least for
Mm,
me, it doesn't
yeah.
work.
Well, let me tell you about the other car that Tommy Pike Customs brought with them.
Yeah,
This is one they
let's talk
hit it
about
out
this
of the
one.
ballpark. This
Yeah,
one I really, really like. I wanted to talk about this next one, which is a 1987 Sunny pickup. We didn't get these in the U.S. These were non-U.S. vehicles. Now they are after the 25-year rule, right? But this one in particular is powered. It's an EV at this point. It is a Leaf power plant powering this Sunny pickup, and I really like this thing. Aside from, of course, I love it as well. The rotiform wheels and the BRE livery. I mean, it looks amazing, but then when you start getting
well, I mean,
underneath the
and
hood,
the advantage of that vehicle that beat out sadly our 620, and I'm a 620
No,
fan. So,
yeah.
well, go ahead.
Well, I heard I was sorry. I was reading in one of these articles that one of the reasons why we didn't get this vehicle in the US was because we had the 620 and it was all about perspective is
Yeah,
that if Nissan already had a mini truck on US soil,
can't
why have
compete.
two
Yeah,
or we're confusing the customer, you know? So that I
can't
was
have two cocks in the hen house.
well,
All right.
I mean again, this was just something I read and I think
Yeah, I would agree
yeah.
100%. I mean, there were advantages to this vehicle over the 620. I mean, mainly because of the unibody. And there was, I'm not going to nerd out too much, even though that's what we do here.
Mhm.
But I've always loved the design of that car. And there was,
Yeah.
the overall just flow of it. But the 620 is pretty baller too, as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still going to hold true to my 620 roots. I love it. But I love the concept. I was saying that an EV in in these classics,
Yeah.
it fits well, and it's kind of like a nod. I mean, I it's like if I had another six. Well, I do have too many
Yeah, you got a
620s.
few of them, don't
Yeah,
you?
I've got too many
Yeah,
620s. I mean, to me, I mean, a Leaf engine or a transplant,
yeah.
it works. It's great.
Now, let me tell you why I like this so much, right? And you talked about it, which was you gotta. Well, let's just
Yeah.
go with the stats here. This EV power plant provides 147 horses and 236 pound-feet of torque. Now, on paper, that does not seem very exciting, but what you have to understand, this is what I love,
That's a
is
crazy
that
amount of power in that thing. Yeah, power to weight
for that
ratio.
vehicle,
That's a lot of Turks. But
yes, and from the factory when this truck came out brand new in 1987, it only
one,
had 70 horses,
yeah, I was gonna say I know it
70
was under
horsepower.
100, so I was
Yeah,
almost gonna say 100. No, I'm being
s- s-
nice.
70 horse, 70 pound-feet of torque. So with this EV power plant, you get twice the horsepower and three times the torque than what you had gotten had it been brand new. And and it's an EV, so
Ludicrous
it's
speed.
amazing. Yes. This is really really cool. I am curious, is the radiator only there for cosmetics? I mean, is it actually being put to use? I mean, I know you have to cool batteries, perhaps. I don't
Now,
know,
there was
but
a couple things that I saw that I'm just like, really? Like, I don't know. I didn't see, and I could be wrong. Again, you can call me out on it. Like, I didn't see the steering assembly. I didn't see a
oh
couple of the other things. The radiator was there. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But one of these
yeah,
days we'll get our a chance to finally put our eyes
I,
underneath it. But that's the only, like, I don't know why
yes,
there's not a lot of photos of this hood being propped.
yes,
And I had happen to catch this from one of the Aussie guys that was nice enough to post it up, and that's where I snagged the photo from
yeah.
his feed. I wish I remember his name. I wish I can give him
What
credit, but
what
yeah, me and Mike have been looking at that for a hot minute now, so it's been fun.
what you're seeing here? Yeah, it's not. I mean, at least at this moment in
I
time,
haven't seen a whole
not
lot of
very
this
easy to
engine
find. Yeah,
shots. Anybody else got any angles? Share. We'll throw them up.
yeah,
But yeah, 620. Let's go to a few comments here. Well,
sure.
Mr. Papa Sergio has joined us today. Hello, yeah. And then Curtis throwing it said, "Yeah, boy, 620 for life." Absolutely. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love the classics like this. It only makes sense to bring back so many of the nostalgic Datsun line, which there is a plentiful amount. Don't get me wrong, I love the S30 chassis.
Mhm.
They're great, but there's so many cool Datsuns that are out there that people just, are not really taking advantage of. Like, to me, I'd like to see some of the campers make it out to SEMA, like the 620. What is it, the Dolphins or
Ooh,
the Chinook?
ooh.
I'd like to see some of those,
The
kind of.
Overland type edition
Yeah,
where
like a crazy 620 Overland, dude. That'd be awesome. Like something weird like that. I'd like to see a 210 just with something wild in it. Something like that.
yeah,
That'd be kind of sick. But I don't know. Anyway, but moving along.
yeah,
Again,
yeah, yeah.
SEMA's Nissan's brought all this out. Got one heck of a show.
Yeah.
That they're putting out this year. Let me see here. Now, this wasn't the only thing that came out. There was also the new GT4, which was, it kind of stole the show, if you will.
Mhm.
And Mike, you can give me the steering wheel for
Sure.
those. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. And the new GT4 made its way over to SEMA this year. Is basically debuted. For those that didn't give a chance, haven't living under a rock and you haven't seen it so far. But it's come out, and this is basically their GT4, call it a spec race car, if you will, that happened to make its way over to the SEMA this year.
Hmm.
And I don't know, man. I'm loving it so far.
I I am, we talked about it just a little bit, I want to say, in the previous episode, and it was mentioned that, yeah, more information about this car was coming out during SEMA. So, yeah, you've, uh, you've got more to it, I think,
Yeah,
than we
and
had
so that's
previously.
everything that come out now. For those that aren't aware what's going on, I mean, the GT4 was, and I'm going to read it off here, has been developed by Nissan and is powered by the same twin turbo 3.0 V6 found in the road car, but with output dialed to 450, which is up from the usual 400 horsepower. Torque is also boosted from 443 foot-pounds, um, from the road cars 350 foot-pounds.
Mm,
So the chassis and suspension have also been reworked for racing duty. Car gets a new body kit with upgraded aerodynamics, a massive wing, a new front spoiler, a vented hood with locking pins. Don't forget the little tow bar that's up at the top, the tow hook. New 18-inch wheels, and the interior
18
has all been
inches.
stripped out and basically has gotten weight from 3,000 from the original curb weight of the Z down to 3,108 pounds, which is roughly about 380 pounds lighter than the road car.
Wow.
So for those that are looking to get into this vehicle, order books will open mid 2023 for delivery, is what Nissan's saying,
Mm,
just in time for the 2024 motorsports season. However, select customer teams competing in the US-based SRO Pirelli GT4 America Series and Japan Super Taikyu Series will receive early versions in 2023 to help with the evolution program. Yeah,
we,
evaluation program. So, yeah, you know, it's. I feel like we're going to be seeing this car a lot more as we go through the racing seasons for 2024, just naturally. Now, there was something in this article from Motorsport Authority that they had a little wrong. They said the GT4 isn't the first racing version of the new Z, as a Z GT500 has competed in Japan's Super GT Touring Car Series since the start of the 2022. A GT3 spec car may also be in the works as a replacement for the aging GTR Nismo GT3, which I'm kind of argumentative about because I don't think that's really going to happen. I still think that the GTR is going to find its way into the 300 class or the 500 class, or those vehicles are going to switch. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in motorsports. But
okay.
right now, for those that have been following the show and following Super GT, we've got the Z racing in the 500 series, and the GTRs are racing in the 300 series, which is probably a smart move on Nissan's part in an effort to promote the Z. And of course, we'll talk a little bit about motorsports and how well that is working out for Nissan this year, and how things are wrapping up in the season. But
Gotcha, gotcha.
yeah,
We did have a few comments. They were mentioning price. You want to go ahead and let the world know how much
no,
Nissan's asking for this?
4 billion yen. I have no idea. I don't. I didn't
Yeah.
see a price. Did you see a
No,
price?
I did. We did.
Yeah.
Now we were speculating last time that this car might be in the 200,000 range because that's what some of its competitors are currently selling their GT4 versions at, such as Supra and whatnot, 200,000. This one, Nissan Z GT4 spec, $230,000 for this vehicle. So, uh,
Yeah, I didn't want to comment.
and
Yeah, I mean, that may be it, but I don't know. I can't see the stripped out version of that vehicle being at that price point, but it may be. Maybe I'm just completely disillusional. Yeah,
either
but
way, one other thing to mention about the SEMA show and Nissan's exhibit is that they did have two parts walls in their exhibit showcasing a lot of concept or pre-production Nismo catalog items for the new Z. Strut bar, coilovers, a few other pieces. A lot of it obviously still in development to get it out to the world, but a lot of those samples were shown in Las Vegas this
Yeah.
week. So for those who are at Vegas, I hope you guys are enjoying your
Hope
time.
you're having
Hope
a
you
good
guys
time
got some
tonight. And then,
pictures.
yeah, it ends tomorrow, right? And then that's the
Yeah.
end of it. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So let's go to the
Uh,
boards. JLE chiming in, only $230,000. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, imagine if Nissan put these out as a GT4 and then cut the price, swept the leg on it, Johnny. Just like throw it in there for like, I don't know, some price of $150,000.
That's the cool thing about prices that you think are high is that they can always come down, right? I mean, that's and then all of a sudden, oh man, so cool. You get to save
Yeah,
money.
but it's
Yeah.
still $150,000. Like, let's be realistic about it. But
Hmm.
yeah. Kyle Martin, looks sick. Yes, it does. Not that sick
Yes.
money. See it. See here. Curtis Davey says you could live in a car but can't race a house.
Facts. That's
Facts.
facts right there.
Where
So.
goes on his tombstone. Let me see here. Badu checking in. What up, guys?
Cool, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah. That's not Bruce's face, by the way.
Yeah. By the way,
That's
that's Tom from Facebook. Yeah. Who just which is classic. That's awesome. Good job, Tom.
maybe Tom had to go under witness protection because
Did
of the
anybody ever figure out
lives.
who Tom was from Facebook? Not
Ah,
to. I'm sure there's a whole like Nerdist article about that dude
I'm
and
sure there
everything
is.
else, and you know, he- he's
Next episode, we're gonna figure
yeah.
that out.
Next episode,
Maybe
we'll
he was a
find it out.
Nissan fan
Maybe he was a
too. Yeah.
Nissan guy, and then we can tie it all together. Now that wasn't the only news. There was some extra additional booths that were catching some interest too as well, right, Mike?
There was. Now, so the cars that we've spoken about just previously were obviously under the Nissan exhibit umbrella, you might say. There were, of course, many other Zs on display throughout the entire convention hall. We've got a few that we want to share with you guys. These are from various companies. The first we want to share is from Braille Battery. Good friends of ours, Gary Savage and the team, had their BRE 510 Coupe with them. Actually, it's a sedan, two-door sedan, because it's not the notchback. It's a two-door sedan, 510. Of course, you see the man himself, Peter Brock, actually having a few autograph sessions this week at the booth for those who were looking for something to have signed. He was there. Peter Brock's in the Las Vegas area, I think, so that was very, very good place to be to find him. So there's that. Now we do have a few other ones. This one really caught my attention as well. This article, it isn't from SEMA, but this is more of a photo shoot, and we're talking about TJ Hunt and the Street Hunter Wide Body Z. This was debuted at SEMA, and I see this thing, man, and I'm loving the color. I'm liking the body work. Well, most of the body work. It's it
It
does
just
kind of
flows.
excite the senses, man. It really
Yeah, I mean,
flows
it
really
really
well.
flows. To me, it cleans up all the concerns that I kind of had with the model,
Yeah.
on a personal level. Like if I was going to own the vehicle outright personally, but I mean, it kind of cleans up everything that I had a concern with, by about like 95%. Um, Honestly, there's a couple things
Yeah.
that I'm still kind of like about, like side skirts, and I think there's a
I
blowhole on the
a little
fender, like at the
I'm with you this on the side skirts. I kind of agree with you there, but
yeah, but everything else, I mean,
I s-
it's it's a pretty nice kit. I will
yeah,
leave it at
I
that.
something about blue, man. I at least that color, man. It definitely grabs me, man. I really like it. That duckbill
So, what's the
spoiler
story with
there.
this body kit? Is it going to be available? Is it like a one-off type of thing, or
No, it there were in the article, which we'll include in the show notes, talks about this body kit. It there was no prediction on how soon this kit may hit the market, but they said the price range would be under $10,000. So if that, I don't know if that's rather high, but it is, let's just say, a rather sought after kit at this point in time. So that seems to be the what's being spoken about it currently. Um, Oh, I think I had something else here with that. This is actually their claim was that this is the first body kit available for the new Z. Uh, Not only is it on this car that belongs to TJ Hunt, but this kit, I believe pieces of it can be seen on Forsberg's Formula Drift Z
Hmm.
as well. So that's kind of where they got some of their fitment checks and maybe some trials. So it isn't. I mean, obviously, it takes a lot of time to get a body kit, much less get it right. Um, this one they did a pretty good job, though. I think we'll be seeing pieces of this available in the
Yeah.
market probably within the next couple months, though.
Yeah, and then give it like a year and a half, then KBD will make their own style of it, and then
You're
it'll
gonna
be
get
for
knockoffs and then
yeah, it'll
knockoffs
be
of knockoffs.
a knockoff, a copy of a copy of a copy, which is gonna fit perfect, by the way.
By the way, yeah,
I don't know if
I
you
don't.
know that. And then super thin fiberglass, not a
it
problem. And then it's all gonna fit perfect, and because it comes
it's
in a box this size, and it's 5 pieces, like all wrapped amongst each other.
yeah.
And let's see
They
what
say
else.
get throw it out in the sun. It'll unfold
Just leave
itself.
it out in
Yeah,
in a 180-degree
yeah.
sun, and it'll fold that perfectly.
That's a good idea that you think about too. Is that you kind of have to gauge the relationship between the price of the body kit versus the cost of the person putting it on. The higher grade the kit,
That's
you
man,
it,
you
it
could I've had that argument so many times about
yeah.
like buying like, real FRP, and I'm not saying fiberglass, like real true FRP products. If
Hmm.
you've ever seen fiberglass like a fiberglass part and then an FRP in your hand, two different processes, and the two different in products too as well. With that, I mean, you just get really good quality from the FRP stuff. But what do people do? They chase the cheap, and next thing you know, then you'll have these really bad um, it's always style, STYLE. It's always like this is Bomex style, Grady style, this
Ah,
style, and that's how they get away from it. And they
true.
alter it and then
Yeah.
patent, blah blah blah. But
Just
my point is
yeah.
that yeah, you could see I feel like this car is going to get hit with so much aftermarket, just like the 350Z came out.
Hmm.
And it really got the attention of everybody back in those like SEMA days. Everybody had 350Z when they first came out. I mean, that really took off, and everybody was modding that car. Just like the BRZ, that was another car that just got. Of course, that's a Toyota product or Subaru product. But my point
Yeah.
is, there's cars that kind of spark people's potential to mess with them and modify them and develop parts for them. And I feel like this is one of those cars that's going to do it. We're just barely seeing
Oh yeah.
the tip of the spear right
We're
now.
just
But
scratching
yeah,
the surface because as more and more models come out that are the non-proto super high MSRP, as the base model even
yeah,
and the MSRP on base model kind of calm down, I
yeah.
think you're going to see a lot more of these on the road, obviously, and that's where yeah
Mhm.
the kits galore and we're already seeing the performance parts come out and become available as
Yeah,
well.
and thankfully Nissan was smart and worked with a lot of the motorsport industry leaders, at least
Hmm.
for us in our community, and really got these vehicles out sooner. And had people really developing parts. So when the Z does finally hit the streets, there's parts available for it from day one, and there already is starting to be parts available from day one. So again, kudos to Nissan for having the foresight to listen to the industry and listen to the market for that. So
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to some of our friends who are still at SEMA enjoying the event. Some of the ZCCA guys who were out there, kudos to them. Brian Highcarter, good friend of the show, and then of course the Z1 Motorsports guys, just to name a few. But
Yeah, having a good time. It's always a great time to be out there. A lot
let's
of times to network and have friends and to see your old friends again.
Yeah. And
It's a
let's
party.
go back to comments. JLE and David Beeston both said it's Tom from MySpace, not Facebook.
Did we
That's
say? Uh,
I probably said Facebook, probably me, but it was Tom
yeah.
from MySpace. They are right.
Yes, they are
It
right.
just
Yes,
you know
that's how long ago it's been since Facebook took over
cue
the
the
world, right?
dial-up sound. Just
and and the profile song, man, that was a
yeah,
good one too.
yeah,
That
that was a good one
was
too as well.
yeah.
But
What was yours? Did you have yours? What was your profile song?
my
Did you?
profile, yeah,
Oh, come on,
it's no,
something.
it's gonna age
No,
me. Really?
uh, I'll tell you. I'll tell you mine if you tell me
I'll tell
yours.
you mine if I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
Okay. Me? Who's first? Me or you?
You're first.
I had Taking Back Sunday. That was just a emo band that I liked them. So, what's
Really?
yours? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, ugh, I'm gonna show my age, but nobody's gonna know this. But it was a band called L7. But L7
Oh, okay.
pretend we're dead. But it's nobody's gonna know that. It's so obscure. That was like
Yeah.
my weird like punk alternative.
Oh, Miles Weird. I would have never known.
Moving
Oh.
along, moving on down the line. But there is something, a little bit of good news for those out there. We talked a little bit about the GTR in the last few episodes, and we were kind of bummed because the previous news that we had for the GTR was that the GTR was going to be discontinued, to the best of our knowledge, or to the best of media news that was being leaked out from Nissan. But we might have some new news about that, which is actually pretty interesting, because for the most part, we thought we were just done with. But guess what? Things are changing. Mike,
Oh yeah. So, the GTR, as you mentioned, Miles, once presumed dead, returns for 2023. Available at selected dealerships in the U.S. So it's still going to be hard. It's still going to be a not plentiful car, but it is available for 2023. Pricing starts, MSRP starts at $113,000. You've got two grades available: Premium and Nismo power output. Ranges, the premium version gets you 565 horses at 467 torque. And then if you want the Nismo model, you do get a slight bump, 600 horses and 481 pound-feet of torque. Of course, both vehicles are all-wheel drive. And body-wise, I didn't see much of a facelift. I mean, it's been. You got to think about it. This car is going to be. I think 2023 marks its 15 year because GTR's been out since about 08, 09, right?
yeah, that's about right.
So yeah, Nismo model, by the way, $210,000. You could buy essentially a GT4 spec Nissan Z, brand new, or you can buy a GTR Nismo for about the same price, give or take. So that's a pretty interesting comparison, though. Yeah, body wise, not too much happening though, but it is always good news. Regardless of how long it's been on the market, the GTR is a fan favorite. Very, very powerful car, a trendsetter in many regards. Back on the lineup for 2023. So
Well,
yeah,
well, yeah. So from there, I think that's everything that we're going to cover for news. Now we've got a little bit of motorsports to kind of cover. And to me, I'm getting pretty excited because we've got to me, one of the most anticipated races coming up here, that I am just ridiculously, oh my God, ridiculously excited about. That's coming up here this weekend. So this upcoming weekend, and I'm going to share a little bit of footage with you in the background um, while we talk about motorsports here
okay,
today. And go ahead and give me that steering wheel, Mike.
yeah.
Yeah, but
There we go.
perfect. So upcoming last race of the year for Super GT is making its way this weekend. So round 8 of 2022 Super GT series is going to be out at Motegi, is going to be on the 5th and the 6th. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that Nissan has one of the best standing and points that it probably ever has, aside from prior years with Super JTTC. So this is one of those legendary moments that you probably want to get around, spend some time and check out the racing series this upcoming weekend. Now, for standings, and I talked a little bit about points and what was happening this year, but for the upcoming series just to show you how important it is for Nissan this year and how well they've been doing. And I'm going to read off the results to date. This is currently where team standings are. So
Okay.
the number three Craft Motul Z, that's actually in the first place of the 500 series. Again, 500 series with the Zs, with the new Zs, the 300 series with the new GTRs. But in the 500 series, first place right now is car number three, the Crafsport Motul Z. That's Chiyo and Takaboshi are both drivers of that vehicle. But sitting in first place, comfortable lead for them. I really can't see them being knocked off their tower or their perch at this point. Second place, Team Impul Calsonic Z is
Ooh,
sitting in that position.
that's your
Yeah,
team right there.
that is my team. Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, in third, it is not another Z, but we kind of have a bit of a Z, an NSX sandwich. So in third place, car number 17, the Ostemo Real Racing NSX. Is actually sitting in third, and car number 100, the Stanley NSX, is in fourth. So
Mhm.
that's currently where position is at this time with points. But the other Z is actually sitting in seventh. But you never know. A good race weekend, and we could have ourselves a first, second, and third. I don't know which is what I'm hoping for in the 500. But either
Yeah,
way, we're going to have a Z sitting pretty high in the rankings for a final season. I really think the
yeah.
Craft Sports Motul Z. This is going to be their year again. They're looking like they're just going to be taking it all the way through.
You know,
Now in 300 series, car number 56, the Condo Racing Realized GTR, which is also the mechanic college, the GTR. That vehicle's still sitting in first. They always destroy it every year. They always do a great job. Second place is actually being held by the R&D Sport BRZ. But in third place, car number 10, the Tanax Gainer GTR, sitting in third place. Fourth place, we've got car number 52, a Toyoped Supra. And then after that, car number 11, the Gainer Tanax GTR. And they're actually fielding two cars. So again, third and fifth for the Tanax Gainer Tanax team. So
first, third, and
it's
fifth.
just a great all around year. What you're seeing, this footage that I'm running in the background, is actually from the Realize Advan Z, who just had a stellar run that the last round of seven. So again, for those that haven't had an opportunity to check that out, I would highly recommend checking out this last race. It's going to be one of those historic Nissan events. You definitely don't want to miss it. We will do our best to try to post the live footage from the race. The problem that has been coming in with getting live footage within the actually mid-season is Super GD kind of sold the rights to the live footage
Mm.
to a company that makes you pay a subscription fee,
Oh,
and then it's all in Japanese. If you wait Monday morning, this is the trick that I've noticed,
with a
is
cold
usually
pizza.
Nissan is going to put out their own um, film footage of it, and then usually about 2 or 3 days later, they'll do a English dub version that everybody can enjoy. So unfortunately, we have to kind of wait a little for that information to make its way to us. But again, as soon as I have good, solid footage and film and videos to show you, we will definitely post them on the website. You can continue to follow that on our Nissan Nerd Podcast Facebook page for updates.
Gotcha.
But again, you don't want to miss those when we do post those.
Mhm.
Again, I think it's going to be a stellar year for Nissan all around. So
You said Motegi is the last round. What weekend is it again? I don't.
it's this weekend.
This
It's going to
weekend.
be yeah. That's what I was saying. It's round eight Motegi. It's going to be the 5th and the 6th.
Fifth and the sixth.
And
Gotcha.
if you're
Yeah.
if you want to ball out of control and you just want to pay the subscription, you can do that. We'll put the link. We put the link up before, but again, that's just changed within the last series. I want to say it changed around like round three or round four. They sold the rights to it. I could be wrong on that, but that seems like from me trying to grab information all year throughout the year. That's what it's kind of come up for. So, but again, we'll give you the footage as soon as it's uh, available for public consumption, and and all of our English speaking friends can definitely listen to that. So
Nice, nice, nice. I have a series that we didn't really cover it too much, only until this. There's, to be honest, there's only a few more races left though. But last episode specifically, we spoke about a series called it's out of California, the Nissan Challenge Series. And actually, what's happened since the last episode and now is that one of the organizers from Nissan Challenge contacted us and kind of said, "Hey, what do you want to know? Let's talk. We're an open resource. Call us." So we've got, uh, I think, a line to kind of really get some really good information about this event. So let's talk about it, though. I want to talk about the Nissan Challenge Series. Now, for the 2022 season, okay, before I do that, what I really want to explain is that the Nissan Challenge Series is an annual time trial series for all owners of Nissan, Infiniti, and Datsun automobiles. It is intended for all skill sets and provides a friendly atmosphere for drivers to compete. Inside this series, there are 3 classes that you can fit your Nissan, Datsun, or Infiniti into, and it's all based on a particular setup of the car, whether it's naturally aspirated and whatnot. I'll actually put this is actually a really good rules PDF file that I'll put into the show notes if you are interested about this, though. But essentially, all vehicles cannot exceed V6 engines and in various forms, anyway. Really, really cool stuff, though. There are 2 races left this season that I want to definitely take advantage of and talk about uh, in the near future. Round 7 is the next round. This is actually happening November 20th on a Sunday at Chuckwalla Valley Raceway. And then you got
Hmm.
round 8, which is happening about
I was gonna say Willow
three
Springs seems
weeks.
like it's one of their home.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
they have a really good a foothold in Willow Springs, which is awesome because that's, I mean, that's a legendary race course for them to finish up at. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I've been loving the footage that's been coming from these guys. Whoever's shooting this is shooting great shots. I want to see more footage. I want to see more action about it. And we've been asking, and apparently the whispers made their way to the right ear, and now we have a line on it. So very very cool stuff.
Yeah,
But
I think definitely. So by the time we have our next episode, which will actually be about the week, our next episode will be the week the Thursday before the next race. So we still have maybe an episode or 2 until we really get into some of the results for these upcoming races. But we've got our eye on them. We're going to learn more about them and figure out who's got the, like you mentioned in the previous. In terms of points, who's in the lead? How close is the spread on points?
yeah, I
What
mean, it's
kind of?
basically an event made solely for Nissan community. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And so for it only made sense that eventually we were going to start covering this event. And
Oh, yeah.
and I think they could use all the support that they can get. They could obviously always use more participants, more competition, and I just like the way they're running the event, and I just think it needs our support, not only from us, from the community too as well, and the attendees.
Yeah.
I personally, if they do another one next year, I don't know, Mike. I say we try to make some time and make our way out to it if
That
we can get it going. So that'd be
Well, let's
awesome.
think about it too, because we were talking about events earlier.
A race weekend can't be
April,
that bad.
summer break. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I'd actually would like to see this a lot. I mean, Willow Springs is like you said, a very historic racetrack, and I have yet to actually be there. So we've got the best intentions, man. Let's see
Willow
what we can
Springs is
do.
awesome. You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
great.
So yeah, we'll be following this going forward, guys. Also, the guy we spoke with was Edgar from the Nissan Challenge Series. So we'll get more information.
Yeah.
Perhaps we can get an interview with him
Yeah, you could
in
talk
the
about
near
the
future.
history of it. Yeah, that we love that kind of stuff, and we'll we'll definitely keep you updated as we move through it. A couple notes here. Orlando Nunez did tell me about the best year for Nissan, and I would kind of agree. It was 2009. Now that my memory is starting to come back to recollection, I would say 2009 is probably one of the best years. We'll see if 2022 is best that 2009. We'll see. Maybe. Who knows? John Papa Sergio, Mr. Papa Giorgio says, "Come on out. You're welcome to stay."
Hey,
I guess we're
well, we're in, dude.
Oh, we got a garage to sleep in. It's gonna be nice.
Hey,
I don't care.
hey,
I'll sleep on a garage floor. Okay.
heck, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
sleep on a
heck yeah.
jack stand, and we'll go from there. Yeah, we'll have to make it out. Yeah, I bet. I thank you for the invite. We might take
Thank
you
you.
up on it. You don't know what
Yeah.
you don't know what you opened Pandora's box up on, but sure, we'll have you.
You don't know what you messed up, buddy.
You done messed up.
You-
You done messed up, Mr. Papa Giorgio. But yes, thank you. Shop quarters are underway. All right. Well, yeah, we're good with floors, man. We're all right. We thug it out. We'll be all right.
yeah.
But yeah, that's going to cover everything that we have for motorsports for this episode. We're keeping it kind of short as we start wrapping into the more quieter times of year and we start getting into the holidays. But again, we do have a special guest with us on here today, an up and coming photographer. And normally, we have friends, a few friends that are good photographers, but there is there's something that kind of caught our attention with this young lady at an early. I guess when we were first meeting her early on, not only we liked her eye, if you will, for photography, but her age as well. Being at the young age that she
Getting
was
after it at
shooting.
an early age, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was shooting such good quality photography, and then she's a Nissan fanatic to boot. So we wanted to go ahead and bring on our special guest for the episode. We're
Yeah.
going to bring on Mackenzie Moxley here,
Let's let's do it. Hailing from Dallas, Texas.
hailing in from Dallas, Texas. Please welcome aspiring automotive photographer Mackenzie Moxley.
Hi, good evening.
Hey. Thanks. Thanks for
Mackenzie's
sticking with
on with us.
us.
She's not giving us visual because she's uberly shy, and instead she's just going to post up a few photos to distract us. We're not going to be distracted. We're still going to bombard you with questions.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Thanks
So
for joining us, or thanks for making the time. I understand that, uh you've got homework. What's that like? It's been, you
what's
know how long it's
homework
at. You know
like?
how long it's been since I've had homework.
Well,
So,
first off, okay, let's talk a little bit about
okay.
that. So now, for those that don't know, Mackenzie, you go by is it Slipmind on Instagram? Is that correct?
Yeah, slip
Or
mine Texan.
Slipmind Texan. And what is your age?
16.
All right. And what 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 grade are you in school?
I'm in 10th grade.
10th grade. All right.
That's
Now,
cool.
again, so we're interviewing you. Let's talk a little bit about how long we've known you. So I feel like I've been watching you for a long time. In as far as like seeing you at Z conventions and shooting for a while now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've
Now,
yeah.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Moss.
I was going to say, now you've been a car fanatic for much of your life, and you're not a stranger to the car life. Your family is are they pretty much a Nissan family?
Basically, yeah. I'm more into Nissans, sort of.
So,
Yeah.
how many Z conventions have you been to overall at your young age?
Like around 7, I want to say.
That
Okay.
7, I'm that's
Does she
that's more
beat you,
than
Mike?
me. It's probably just as much. I honestly, I was thinking back. I was trying to figure out. See, okay, hold on. San Antonio. I think I'm at 7 as well. Honestly.
Oh, now you guys
So,
got to challenge each other now.
well, now
Oh
it's a race. Yeah, now I gotta. It's calling me out, man. I mean, I'm
God.
20 years older with just as much. That goes to show how long she's been in the Nissan community, which is really cool to see.
so you've obviously been a car fanatic, but the important thing that comes to, and then I think the real skill for you that's come out is, um, you've been shooting for a long period of time, I guess. Now, how long has that been? How long you been shooting?
I've been shooting like basically since I was a kid all my life,
Mhm.
but professionally about since I was 13.
Okay, all right. So,
Wow.
and who put a camera in your hand?
Both my mom and my dad.
Oh,
Yeah. Were they photographers too? I presume maybe is that where you kind of got the trade from, or
Yeah, on the side.
On the
gotcha.
side. What does that mean, Mackenzie?
Like not like full job, but like
Your
hobby.
s- your side hustle. I
Were,
got you.
were, you-
Yeah.
were you were you holding the foil panels to get the right lighting while they
Ah,
took the picture as a
yeah.
kid or something like
The
that,
No,
or
light
I
the
wasn't
light
there for
meter.
that.
Okay.
okay, yeah. What I was wondering what came first. What were you introduced first? Was it the cars or was it the camera?
Cars, immediately cars.
Immediately
Yeah.
cars. Okay.
Cars since I was born, basically.
Cool.
So so a few other things that I wanted to kind of ask. So do you have other photographers at this time that you look up to?
Yeah, mostly they're from Dallas, but like my top two are like written shot or dated. I find their work absolutely amazing.
Oh
Okay.
wow. Uh, that's pretty cool. You mentioned that they are in the same town as you. Are these people that you can
One of them is,
actually
yes.
one of them?
Okay.
Is it something that that you can actually speak someone that you can like talk to and get advice from? Are they sort of a mentor in some ways, or are they just kind of
Like
because they're so they
a
seem one of them
senpai
seems to be
compai
so
relationship,
close?
like yeah, somebody you can um, that helps you evolve, I guess, your trade. And by the way, can we run some of these photos in the background?
Yes, let me
Yeah,
do
let's
that.
go.
Go for it. Yes, yes, yes,
And so
yes.
people can kind of
Of
see and see what we're talking about.
we
But
want to run this slideshow in the background. We'll let these pictures run around as we talk, of course. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, was there anybody? So, that person you mentioned in Dallas, is that somebody that you've met before, though, or
I haven't yet. I have yet
yeah?
to. He's just like my top favorite photographer.
Okay.
But I do
Well,
have
guess
photographers in the area I do talk to sometimes to get tips from.
Okay.
cool.
So what else do you like taking pictures of?
I like to take pictures of like people sometimes, just kind of anything around me that I like, people, city stuff, like graffiti, and I'm
Mhm.
getting into video with that.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
now how you mentioned video? What have you noticed? Are there any particular like differences as a as a the person behind the lens? Is video more challenging? What separates them to you as being different?
To me, I find video like I guess somewhat more challenging. I like it better because I can show more of what I'm looking at. Video shows more of my perspective and what's going on around me. Photo is just kind of like, oh, stand still for me, but it's
Eh,
easier.
So
Okay.
even like sound, it brings sound into it. Like yeah, the moment it helps.
Yeah.
Ah,
All
okay,
right. All
okay.
right. Okay. And so do you plan on taking photos as a career in the future?
Yeah. Trying to be my end goal with eventually doing music videos.
Oh,
That's kind of my end goal.
That's that's pretty cool. I
well,
think
very cool. Way to work up to it.
Yeah.
it's baby steps, and I think you're definitely on the right path, and it's really awesome that you've found what you've liked so early in life that you can really just
Okay.
focus on it and just find your way with it. Uh, you're in a really good spot,
Yeah.
I think. We were talking about cars even before, and when you shoot a car, is there any particular part of the car that you like to shoot at the most? Like, is it like for like I imagine I'm not a photographer, but if I was, I'd be an engine guy. I'd be shooting underneath the hood or something like that. But for you, is there a particular area of the car you like to focus on?
I like shooting mainly the front or the back. The back is more my favorite, but if the car has a modified interior, I
Okay.
just it's beautiful to look at people's creativity with modified interiors and stuff.
All right.
Uh, okay. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I
very
think
cool.
I've seen a few lately, especially SEMA right now. I've seen a few pictures with modified interiors like that.
Yeah.
They get very creative. That's a good point.
All right. So, are there any events that you're going to be heading to in the future? Like, I know you're out of Dallas area, but any Dallas-based events, or I know also RC is like one of your passions as well, right?
Yeah, I do like RC drifting with my dad. I'm
Want to get
going to an event this weekend actually. It's called Matsuri, and we're gonna be just doing RC drifting, hanging out, having fun.
you gonna take any photos? Or are you going to be working the whole time?
I'm just gonna be driving, having fun the whole time.
All right, all right.
You said driving?
Yeah, it's RC driving, not
RC
actual
driving.
driving.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, okay, you said you were
I don't think
15.
she's
I'm like,
of age just
I
yet.
wish.
So,
well, speaking of cars, though, is there a particular car you're hoping to have as a first car, or
I already have my
have
first car,
you
but
do?
as a car I actually want, I'd want to get like a Z31 maybe.
Z31.
Yeah,
Ooh, hardcore girl. All right.
you know that's pretty interesting because Miles, we were talking about we went to that car meet locally and we saw a lot of young guys with the
They're
Z31.
into the
Like
Z31s, man. But
it's yeah,
it's
it's
I would
making its
say
way.
have the passion. Have the passion for the car because it takes patience. But I will say that the Z31 stuff is kind of the nicest to get into because it's probably cost effective. If I had to go back and do it, I probably would have started with the Z31 in a younger age versus the Z32 because you could have just got that car for a lot cheaper of a cost and done a lot more options and modifications. So
I
yeah,
think
it might be
it's
the right way to go. I think it's still a cost effective vehicle to pick up. So,
yeah,
but
that I think I hope you get it.
we'll just save up, do a lot of weddings, and you'll save up
Oh,
and you'll just
is
shoot
that
it.
that's a good point.
Everybody
Uh,
hates
m-
doing
m-
weddings. Every photographer I know that does it hates weddings, unless you're like love that. I mean, I'm pretty sure you hate it. So yeah.
I you mentioned that you were doing photos professionally for a couple of years now. Yeah, I mean, is it
Well, I would
mostly?
say I'd say
Huh?
amateur at this point. Yeah,
Yeah, amateur.
amateur,
Okay,
amateur.
okay,
So,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
you cut your teeth and as you grow and your career and you go from there. But I apologize, Mike. Go ahead.
Now, I was just trying to think. We're looking at some of these photos here.
What's
We
funny is
see a
I've
lot.
seen and I've been following Mackenzie for a while now, and some of
Mhm.
these photos are like I can see the progression of some of her early stuff, and then
Yeah.
you see the newer stuff as the availability kind of comes up. But yeah, very cool stuff, man. So, but
Uh,
yeah, Mackenzie. Again, I just want to say, what's the best way that people can kind of contact you?
I'd say Instagram is just the best way. I respond very quickly, and I never don't read any notifications.
No, very cool.
that's good. That's yeah. That's
And then the big question, I guess, would be from here is, are you accepting offers for gigs at this time if people want to reach out to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Anytime
there.
I can
Yeah.
get out and do something, yeah, it's gonna be fun. So why would I say no?
No, good.
That's
Nice.
that's true.
Well, we've
How
got a upcoming super lap battle that we're going to be attending in Austin. I know sometimes we run into you at different events, but if we happen to see you or check you out there, definitely give us a holler and maybe you could shoot for us for the day. Since we'll be running around goofing off the whole
we
time, you could be the only one doing work. So,
of course, yeah. If you are in the area, we can definitely use some of your help. Of course, we like what you've been able to take photos of and share, and so you definitely got customers with us. So,
very good.
oh, any shout outs that you want to give out to anybody listening, or your friends or family?
Yeah, it's my dad. He's watching,
He is
talking about RCs and
is
stuff
he
in the
watching the
comments.
video or is he physically watching you give the interview, which is making you super nervous?
He's watching right now.
That guy, that
That's a good
guy.
parent, though, man. This is excited. This is awesome
He's happy.
stuff.
This is what this could be one of many interviews. This is like your first interview, and then we're getting you on the ground level, and then in like 30 years when you're shooting God knows what,
I,
and then you're on, and you're being interviewed by CNN or something. It's us. They're
right.
gonna have to give us our 3 seconds of fame in 20
Yeah.
years from now. So
I,
yeah, and
I was
yeah, that's it.
I was thinking two things for you. One is yes, when that time comes, don't forget about the small people. That's us.
Of course.
but but also too, we mentioned. I know we've got a even for your picture. We at least to us, at least to me, you remain like for any reason you could be at any car show that I'm at and I wouldn't know because we don't know what you look like, but
Well,
you can
I do.
almost use that to
Yeah.
your advantage. I'm thinking like a Banksy, like nobody knows who Banksy is, but like he's anonymous, like he's there but
Just
he's not. He's like omnipresent.
full
Yeah.
hoodie, just out there shooting all just
I
in the
just don't share
bushes.
my face because I'm too nervous.
And that's one thing I wanted to say. It's like, um, when I was watching you shoot, I could see that there was a lot of passion in your eyes when we ran into each other once or twice. I'd be kind of looking at a vehicle and I'd be taking my own photos, and then she would basically be stealing the same angle that where I was at, and I was just like, I see this little girl everywhere, and it's not. And the weird thing about it is like I would see her at an event, and then I would see her at the next event as well, and I was just like, man, I was like, and then we just got to talking, and I found out that we had friends of friends through Z family, and it was just kind of one of those things. I'd see her around and we'd like fist bump each other, and then she would show me some of her photos and stuff that she was shooting, and it was just cool.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt that you had the passion and you were a young and up and coming photographer, and I wanted to give you, or we wanted to give you, a shout out in that regard. So I'm glad we can have the opportunity to kind of get you on the show and talk about it. And if we want to see you evolve, and if you do evolve, maybe this time around next year, maybe we'll get you on and you could show us some of your new stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That
Well, don't let us
that'd
down.
be great. That'd be
Keep doing
great.
great, but do good in school. All right.
I
Oh,
will.
school as well. Yeah, yeah.
School's more important than card nerddom. All right.
Stay in school. Don't do drugs, and then you're
Don't do-
fine.
We're not her
You're a winner
parents. Her
along the
dad's
way. Yeah.
listening. He
Listen to
knows
your
how to do the
parents.
job. He's obviously done a good job to now, Mike. Let's cut
Yes.
the
Yeah.
cord. All right, cut the cord.
Hey, by the way, you are getting some love here through our comments. I'll share a few pieces here. We had a guy named David Beeston saying hi, Mackenzie. They're here for you, supporting you. We of course are saying here,
Uh,
yeah, buddy,
DLK
love.
Timo saying, love your RC pictures. Yeah, buddy. Proud of my girl. Haley Myers. Oh, I know Haley Myers. Yay, Nissan. She says, do car stuff, then you'll have no money for drugs. All right.
There you go. Get that Z31, and then you know what? That's yeah. Keep a wrench in your hand because
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe one of these days you can shoot like of the shoot what do they call it, a headshot of the famous Miss Haley Myers. Actually, she's
Yeah,
a
my
sweetheart.
mom's
And
here next to me, like keeping me not nervous too.
oh, now the whole family, the neighbors are in there, like the weird
The
the
neighbor
pizza
knocking on the
guys in
glass.
there.
What's going on in here? Is that a podcast?
Anyway, we'll let you go, Mackenzie, but thanks for being honest with the show. Thanks for letting us help promote you. We hope that you have tons of success in the future, my sweetheart. All right, we will see you in the future, and uh, keep us in the loop. Let us know what you're shooting. Okay.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks so
Have a good
much.
one.
We'll see you soon. Yeah,
Bye.
yeah, yeah. Bye. Oh, there we go.
All right.
Got it. And there
But
we
yeah,
go.
she's a
That was
sweetheart.
fun.
I've been watching her for like grow up, like through Z conventions. I'm like,
Yeah.
I saw her like this high, and then
This
like she'd
yeah.
be this high and shooting, and then Celeste is, I think, her grandmother, and
Okay.
she's Celeste is everybody loves Celeste, but and she was like, yeah, and then believe it or not, actually, Mackenzie lent us photos as I wouldn't say a b-roll, but it was just like she sent us some really good photos that we utilized for the podcast when we
Yeah.
covered Super Lap Battle.
I think it
So
was Super Lap Battle. Yeah.
her and I both, I took her footage, I took my footage, and then I swapped them, used them, and we gave her credit. But
Yes, we did. We did. That's kind
yeah,
of
we
how
gave
this
her,
all started.
and that's how it all
We went ahead.
started.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
next thing you know, she's like sending us footage of like other events that she does, and then I just felt it only right that we give her a real shout out like on the show. So
Yeah.
again, thank you for everybody for letting us bring Mackenzie on, and we hope to have her on in the future to talk about what how she's evolving as a photographer in the
Yeah.
future. So
I agree. I agree.
so, a little more shout out SLB love. Yes, Super Lap Battle is coming up. And just a
Yep.
reminder, we didn't cover too much on events that are coming up, but for those that don't know, driver registration did open. We are
It did.
probably going to be at Super Lap Battle Coda when it happens.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some time before then. We'll
So
be helping out some friends of ours. I don't know if we're going to be a pit crew yet for.
I think we're going to be a pit crew
I
whether we
think we're
like
going
it
to be
or
a pit
not.
crew.
It was
Yeah,
fun though. Last time was fun.
free
Yeah.
labor. Yeah, well, last time we had to change out an engine in the pits over. Oh, you guys did.
Yeah.
You and
Yeah.
I on over a 24-hour period, and
That's
yeah,
the
that was
longest I ever 36 hours I was up.
36 hours for an engine pull, engine install to success. Yeah, good job, guys. But I love that kind of stuff. I love that story. It's so this upcoming year, we'll just make sure that we have an engine on site, and we'll figure out all the fun stuff that go with the super lap battle, and we'll run into our friends, family, extended family, and maybe some of you when we go there. That's probably the next big event that you and I have coming up,
We do.
but
Yep.
that's not for what's the math on that? 3 months from now, something like that. So
Typically it's
February, right?
February, March time. I think it's February. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
somewhere around
So
that time period. So we'll keep you updated on that as we move forward with the year. Matthew asking, will you guys be at Nismo Fiesta next weekend? I don't know. We haven't really made a decision
20.
on that just yet.
It's the 12th and 13th, I
We
think.
may.
What?
It just depends.
It's yeah.
We'll see. We've got. I think we've got. I don't know. I haven't made a decision on it just yet. Maybe we'll try to make it. Um,
We've done it in the past, so yeah, maybe we
we
do it
well we
this
ran
year.
it in the past. It was previous
Well, that
our
too.
event. We just
Previous time.
we've got other commitments at this time, but we'll try to maybe one of these days. We'll see if we can try to make this event.
By the way, you mentioned Matt though. He is also a fellow Z31
He
owner,
is a
so with
fellow
Mackenzie stock.
Z31 fanatic as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
He also says ZCon next year. That is a given. I'm already making my plans. I've got an
Yeah.
engine swap that I'm doing before to get
No,
out there, and it's good. I'm
we are
looking
going to
forward
have to
to
do
it.
an engine swap in
We
the
are doing it.
garage.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, I
exactly.
know. Got it. I got your engine
Yes,
stand
yeah.
in my house, by the way. Come
Yes, you have my engine.
Haley gave us the dates for Super Lap Battle, March
Yeah,
9th through 12th,
the 12th.
2023. Yeah, we'll have to
We're
do that.
there. We are there.
And by the way, Haley, I've been watching a lot of your posts on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. Great photos. Keep them coming. I like your coverage of the. I think you weren't quite doing F1 coverage, but you were like still doing photos in the background at Coda the whole time or dropping them. So I loved them. We were watching them and we're like, great stuff. So keep those coming. But
Yeah.
DLK Timo is SLB at Coda. Yeah, actually,
Yes, it
Super
is.
Lap Beetle, Super
Beetle.
Lap Battle is actually to me one of the bigger events held at Coda. But they do their tour. But yeah, they do one of their
It's
events at
yeah,
Coda.
it's part of the Grid Life,
It's
I
part of the
think,
Grid Life
series. But
experience.
I think this 2023 is going to be the 5th year that
Fifth year. Yeah.
Super Lap Battle's been at Coda. It's been a great
Yeah.
time. It's been a really
Yeah,
good time.
and those guys, Derek, I forget their name. I know it. I'm on the spot. I'm not thinking of it. But the gentleman that put it together, it's a handful of them. We've met them as they're kind of walking around the events. They do a hell of an event. If a super lap battle comes near you, we highly recommend going to the event. Promoting it because it really just does so much for the car community, not necessarily the Nissan community, but the car community in general. So I am always a big pro super lap battle guy. So again, if you get an opportunity to go to one of those events, highly recommend it because they put on a great event, regardless of where it's at.
Absolutely,
Jason
man.
Deanhart. There you go. That's what
That
it
was the
was.
guy. Cool guy. Yeah,
Very
yeah,
nice
yeah.
guy. Yeah. But
Cool, man.
again, we're gonna cut it a little short tonight.
Oh,
Believe it or not, normally we run the full 2 hours. We fill this with all kinds of other news and motorsports, and we back alley chat something. But because we had an interview, it's going to be kind of
it's been.
a shorter.
This is actually the sweet spot. This is
This is
exactly.
this is the
Yeah.
shortest event shortest episode we've done probably in God, 6 months?
6 months, probably safe
6 months,
one. Safe
easy.
one.
So
I
normally,
can actually get to work on time tomorrow. That's how cool is that?
yeah, let's not talk about your problems. But again, a shout out to everybody for being on with us tonight. Again, this is just us goofing off, talking about news,
Yes.
talking about the community. And if there's something that you've got going on, Haley, if you want to come on with us one of these days, type to us. We'll get you
Good.
on the
Yeah.
show, and we can talk about your exploits and all the trouble that you're getting into, and the racing season that you're about to step into.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, let us know. But again, like, follow, subscribe, us, share us. You know, that's what we're here for.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
here for you as a community. If there's some news that you have out there that you want to talk
Yeah.
about, message
Yep.
us. No matter how big or small, it's what we're here for.
We are on most social media sites. Of course, Instagram is the one that we've been trying to grow more and more. Obviously, if you're watching us live right now, we're through the Facebook Live uh, method. You can say we do have a YouTube channel. If you want to see the video catalog of all our previous episodes, you can find them on YouTube. And we have the audio version, the true podcast version, available through all major
Yeah.
podcast networks. That's
We no
Stitcher,
longer
your
have a
Googles,
MySpace
your
page.
iTunes.
We just took
No
that down
longer.
last week.
Tom
So
said, "You know what? We should go ahead and
Tom
you
is
know."
not. He's our
Yeah.
last employee. That was it.
He's the one who shut the lights off at the end. You know that ties
That's it.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, love that
exactly. Yeah.
guy. Gotta love that
So
guy.
we're there. Join us. Like the page. Find us. Add us. You'll get the latest alerts. We typically do this every 2 weeks on that. And then lastly, info@nissannerd.com. That is how you can email us directly. If you are not the social media type, just hit us up on the old-fashioned email. We're there for you
Yeah.
as well.
And Haley, just the last shout out. She said, "Hey guys, you want to see the first female run Time Attack and Wheel to Wheel back to back SLB and Grid
Oh
Life
wow,
weekend?"
they
Yeah,
yeah,
duh,
because they
of
do the cup
course.
races in between the Time Attack. That's
Yep.
double duty, man.
I know she's like
Wow,
hustling, and that's why I was like, and that's how she came up on my grid. I was like, this girl's killing it, and then
cool.
I started following all her stuff, and then just I guess I was giving too many thumbs up, and I was maybe either it was yeah. Either way, well,
Cool.
we got you. We're there in your corner, but yes, definitely we want to watch it. Come on, we're gonna be
Cool.
there anyway. So if you but definitely reach out to us. Maybe we can get you on the show. We'll talk a little bit about the upcoming season for you in the upcoming event. So yeah.
All right.
But again, thank you to everybody for joining us. One last compi for the road.
We're gonna do it.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
guys. Again, thank you so much for joining us. If you've got whatever you got left, let's go ahead and do a kanpai. Clink.
Oh, you know what we got?
Mm.
We're starting to add a little piece of the show that I just forgot. Any apologies and takebacks? So is there anything that you want to apologize or take back, Mike?
Well, you really want to end the show on a high note, don't you?
I do, and you know what? It's we were somebody said that we should bring this into the episode, and then kill off the Ferris Bueller episode, the Ferris Bueller thing that we have at the end of everything.
Some
But
sort of
apologies, takebacks. Apologies. I wish I would have known my JGTC history a little bit better. I wish,
Oh.
Orlando came up with 2009. I should have known that. I've got like 400 toys here that are all from the JGTC, and it says 2009. I should have just looked to my right, and I would have freaking known. But
Hmm.
yeah, my
I
nerddom is not as strong as it used to be. So
well,
my apologies for not having my
yeah,
nerddom. So
I can take one back, and especially I'm looking back at our show notes here, which was regarding the Nissan enthusiasts and influencers related to the builds at SEMA. I should probably do more research on those guys, so that way for the future we're up to speed with these guys. So
yeah, that's us
is that all
falling
right?
on our sword for the night.
Yeah, we own it, man. Again, highs and lows, man. We're just being honest, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, Mike, I want to tell you that no matter what failures you do, which are vast and many, I
and
still
there
love
are
you.
many. Yeah.
And there are many minefields of fallible information coming out of your mouth. I'm unfallible.
You unfallible? Okay, yeah,
No,
sure.
infallible.
Nah, I
But,
know, yeah.
I love you, man. You guys have a good one. Thank
Hey,
you all for
same here,
being with
buddy.
us. We'll see you next episode.
Talk to you guys soon. Hey.